In this video, I'm going to be building the best possible auctionable team right now in NBA 2K23 Myteam. And if you guys are wondering what I do mean by auctionable, this is going to be the best team of cards you guys can buy directly off the auction house. So there'll be no free cards in this lineup. There'll be no lock-in cards because you can't actually buy those cards off the auction house. So I just want to see what the best auctionable team looks like in the game, so you guys can see out of all the auctionable cards, what is the best squad you guys can build. So at the starting point guard position, we do have the endgame LeBron. He's going to be a 6'9" point guard, 7-foot wingspan, and I do think LeBron is easily the best point guard in the game. Such a good all-around card. He's an endgame, so can do everything at such a high level. KPJ base, Sadiq Bey upper, on very quick timing. Even though it's not my favorite or best jump shot in the game, it's still a really fast jump shot and amazing if you can get it down, because it is a hard jump shot. I will say the end game release, it's a hard jump shot to get down, and sometimes you do get terrible load up animations. That pretty much means you can't even green the shot just because of how bad the load up is and how much like the shot timing changes. But still, I think it's a really good jump shot once you get the timing down. And then also amazing dribble sigs and elite level dunk packages as well. So I mean, LeBron, I would say because of his size, right, 6'9" at point guard, 7-foot wingspan, and his amazing player model, I do think makes him the best auctionable point guard and also just the best point guard in general. Now at the starting shooting guard position, I do think you go Kevin Durant. Now it's a close debate, between number 1 and number 2 in my opinion, but Kevin Durant still 6'10" at shooting guard with a 7'4" wingspan, and that's the reason why I do think he's the best auctionable shooting guard, is mainly due to his size, because he's gonna have the same jump shot as LeBron. He's gonna have the same stats and badges, the same animations with his dribble sigs and his dunk packages. So it really just comes down to his player model, and that's why I do think Kevin Durant is still one of the best endgame cards and still one of the best auctionable cards, is because of his size at the shooting guard position. So I do think KD and LeBron in the backcourt is going to be amazing offensively. To have these two cards paired up next to each other is going to be almost impossible to stop, and then also can be very good defenders. And then also you do have to worry about the invincible Victor Wembanyama, who I still think is easily the best card in the game and one of the most broken cards we've ever seen in my team. He's 7'5", can play the small forward position, 8-foot wingspan. But to have that at small forward with also one of the best player models and a card that's got 99 every single stat, not even like there's a couple 98s or a couple 97s, legit every single stat at a 99. He's got almost every single Hall of Fame defensive badge, playmaking, finishing, shooting, all almost maxed out. His tendencies are going to be maxed out at 100. And then they actually gave Wemby a pretty good jump shot with the Kuzma based Tim Duncan upper on very quick timing. He's got the tray fade, which is super good. He's got the best dribble sigs in the game, best dunk packages with the quick drop soft one and the front clutches. So I mean, this card all around just a beast at small forward, and I do think it's going to be the best auctionable small forward in the game currently in my team. Now at the starting power forward position, it really comes down between two different power forwards, and the other power forward will be coming off the bench, but I do think Shaq is most likely the best auctionable power forward. Once again, a really close debate, and we can't use Manute Bol because he's going to be a lock-in card, and you can't buy Manute Bol directly himself off the auction house. But Shaq is still amazing, 7'1" at power forward, 7'7" wingspan. And the big thing about Shaq is really coming down to his player model, because we know he's going to have the same end game jump shot, end game dribble sigs, and end game animations with the dunk packages. We know his stats, his badges, his tendencies are all going to be maxed out. So what it comes down to for majority of these endgame cards is what their player model looks like in game, their height, their wingspan, and also their player model. And we know Shaq has got one of the best player models in the game. He just gets such good defensive animations because of his size and his player model, down low, able to get tons of paint stops. And then to round out the best auctionable starting lineup in the game, I do think is going to be the hero Yao Ming, easily the best auctionable center. I mean, just such a beast and able to really guard, most centers and power forwards in the game. He's 7'6" at center, 7'9" wingspan, a really good defender on the inside, 97 block, 85 steal, 83 perimeter, but also with a 96 interior defense. We know Yao can mash down low, one of the best paint mashers in the game, and they actually gave him a pretty decent jump shot where he's got the Robert Williams base, Shea upper on very quick timing, and then he does have pretty good dribble sig, so he can still score the ball at somewhat decent of a level. But I just don't want to see an endgame Yao Ming, because once we get endgame Yao, I mean, that card's going to be so broken to have a faster jump shot and to be able to move with those dribble sigs, like, and to have 99 speed and defense and, you know, speed with ball and ball handle. Like, that endgame Yao is really going to break the game, just like Taco Fall. But in my opinion, guys, this is the best auctionable starting lineup currently in the game. Now, coming off the bench, there's like 4 different point guards you can go to. There's Luka, there's Jimmy, there's MJ, there's Kobe, there's Jokic, like there's Lamar Odom. There's so many great point guards in the game after LeBron that I think it really comes down to preference. It really comes down to personal opinion. My opinion, I just move so well with Luka. I don't know what it is. If you guys watched yesterday when I used the best team in the game, I was going crazy with Luka. I think he had like 29 points or something, or 26 points in a couple of minutes. Like, he's just such a good offensive card. He's 6'7" at point guard, 6'8" wingspan, and I know he's the same card as Jimmy Butler, but for whatever reason, I don't know how to explain it, but for whatever reason, Luka just moves so smoothly in game. I really like his jump shot off the dribble. I know it's the same jump shot as most as the other endgame cards, but I just think it's so smooth off the dribble, and I think he's a really good 3-hunter. So I do think for this auctionable team, I think Luka's going to be our backup point guard. Now for the backup shooting guard position, I mean, Tracy McGrady is another really good card. Like, I wouldn't get mad if somebody put T-Mac over Paul George, because I know a lot of people that don't like this jump shot, that don't like the end game jump shot, and maybe wouldn't want to use a card like Paul George, or wouldn't want to use a card like Kevin Durant or Paul George. But for me, PG, 6'9" at shooting guard, 6'11" wingspan, and has such a good player model. Like, I think you could argue PG over Kevin Durant. I just really like this card's player model. I think it's a super wide player build. He gets great defensive animations. Like, I think he's a better defender in game than Kevin Durant. But for the backup small forward position, it's still going to be this Hero Bull. Now, there is some other small forwards you could potentially run over Bull, but for me, still amazing. 7'2" at small forward, 7'7" wingspan. He's such a good defender in game, and I think he's going to pair, you know, really well alongside Luka Doncic and Paul George, because those cards are going to bring all the offense we need. Those two cards can handle the scoring. We just need some size and some defense to potentially have to guard a Victor Wembanyama or all these other tall cards in the game, and that's exactly what Bull can do. He's got a 95 block, 90 steal, 92 perimeter, 95 interior defense, and they actually gave him a very solid jump shot, the Bull base, Bull upper on very quick timing, and then he's also got great dribble sigs, the Kyle Lowry size up, the Trey escape, aim behind the back, and Bull actually moves very solid for a giant card in the game, and I think is going to be the best or second best auctionable small forward currently in my team. Now, coming off the bench of the backup power forward position, like I said when I was talking about Shaq, it really comes down to not preference, but it really just comes down to like a small difference in the player model. I think Shaq's got a little bit better of a player model than D-Rob, but the thing about endgame D-Rob that I like a ton, and I've said this a bunch of times in the past, but I like the endgame jump shot, the KPJ base, Sadiq Bey upper on very quick. I like that jump shot a little bit more when it's on a lefty release. So whether it's a D-Rob, he's got the lefty jump shot, or whether it's a Bill Russell that shoots with his left hand, for whatever reason, I find the jump shot to be a lot more consistent. So that's why I was thinking about putting D-Rob over Shaq, but I still think Shaq is going to be the best auctionable power forward. And then coming off the bench at the backup center position, I think you kind of have to go Mark Eaton, because you can't go Rick Smith, you can't go Manute Bol, and I think Mark Eaton's still great, but he just kind of looks out of place compared to like all of these different end games and, you know, top tier cards like Yao and Victor Wembanyama and Bull. He looks a little bit out of place, but still is a really good defensive center. And then for kind of like the last 3 spots, just going to put some other cards in here that I think some people might want to use, like a Jimmy Butler or an invincible Tracy McGrady. He's still a top tier shooting guard in the game. And then also, I mean, there's so many cards you can put for this type of team. I might just put another point guard like MJ. I'm not really sure who to put for that last 13 spot. Like, you could even go Tim Duncan if you want a different power forward in the game. I'll just throw Tim Duncan in there. The last 3 cards I'm not really taking too seriously. Just going to throw some other options in there, you know, just for you guys. So a point guard, a shooting guard, and a power forward you guys can run as well, just to give a little bit more variety to the lineup. But in my opinion, guys, this is going to be the best auctionable team you guys can build right now in Season 8. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and let me know what you guys would change about this squad. There's obviously so many other great auctionable cards in the game, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.